This week I'm going to try it a little bit different, with a microphone. Just for the talking idiot shots, not the voiceovers. What did I put? Oh, I got dust on my mic. So at the end of the last video I said, well, this week we're going to try and build a, what is this thing? A crosscut sled. I've wanted one for a while. I've used a couple when I was doing some classes a while back. Never had one. I bought this kit off Amazon probably 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. And it would not work for my old table saw. It comes with these little acrylic pieces that slip into the tracks of your saw, and my old saw, it would not fit. But in my new saw, they fit perfectly. Both sides, which is good because you want both sides to fit. So I figured, let's build the crosscut sled for this. I've got all the wood set up, ready to go. I'm gonna walk you through how to build this DIY crosscut sled Amazon kit off of Amazon. That's why it's an Amazon kit off of Amazon. I'll link down in the description the kit that I'm using, if it's still available, because it's been almost 2 years since I purchased it, and we will go from there. On to the talking guy, which is actually me. I realize I have a really great radio voice. Could you see anything? I can't see the screen. I don't know if you could. Okay, Radiohead voice, go. I'm pretty sure he's talking about me, and yes, I do have a great radio voice. This kit comes with everything that you need, except for wood, glue, and some screws, but it does come with the acrylic tracks, something called instructions, and aluminum T-tracks, and some of the needed hardware. You will need to purchase a piece of plywood, at least ½ inch thick, and a 1x6. Mine was a piece of scrap from a different project. Oh, and some 2x4s for the front and back supports. More details later, and there's a thumbs up for you. We're going to start by measuring out 24 by 18. My plywood was 24-ish. You're welcome. And we'll need to rip it down to 18 inches. We're going to do that over on the table saw. Where at? I'm going to show you over here. Watch it slide through like sweet butter. Oh, if this doesn't turn you on, then something's wrong with you. Almost cut my hand off there. This episode is brought to you by me. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any support. This is a one-man show. That's why I'm using a wired mic, because it was the cheapest one I could find. But this show could be brought to you by you and other people like you. I don't have monetization anymore on YouTube. I'm going to get it back, hopefully. I want YouTube to become part of like what I do, part of my career, my income, but it's a long process. I was approved for membership, and you can sign up for membership for as little as a price of 1 cup of coffee per month. And that money will help to, buy new equipment, help this dream to become true. So consider signing up. I would greatly appreciate it. There's several different tiers, different levels of like, the more you pay, the more you get kind of things. Consider it. Sign up. Support us. Help us. Help me, help you, helping you, helping me, helping you, and helping you, helping me, and you helping. Yeah? Okay. Also, I want to mention this sticker wall above the Porter Wagner here. If you would like to send a sticker in, we'll put a P.O. box or something. We'll get an address to you, and we can put stickers and sponsors and whoever else wants to be a part. Okay? Thanks for watching. Back to the show. I hope somebody signs up. Oh, sorry. Now that we have the piece cut down to 18 inches, we're going to measure across just to make sure it's 24 inches. Mine wasn't. It was a little bit under 24 inches. And then we're going to find our center point, which is going to be a little bit under 12 inches because it's not a little bit under. And yes, I had to use a calculator because math is not my strong suit. Apparently speaking isn't either. Okay, anyway, we're going to draw a line on that halfway mark, and then we're going to use our square, which is actually a triangle, to draw a line for reference of our center point of our board. Did you get all that? I hope you got all that, because I said a lot, and I suck at math. Back at the table saw, we're going to pay the table saw 40 cents. We go 10, right there's 10, 20, where's 20, 20, 30, hidden somewhere, and 40. Now it will allow us to insert the track and glue them to our piece of plywood. You should see what it'll let you do for 75 cents. Of course, I'm kidding. But it was some weird stuff. Anyway, with the blade all the way down, I add a little bit of CA glue to both tracks, then line the center line on the piece of plywood, the one that we just drew out, up with the blade, because I can still see the blade. It's not, it's not gone. It's in that hole right there. And then we press down on the plywood, pushing down on the tracks, gluing it to the tracks. Did you get all that? That was a lot again. I know. You're going to want to make sure you put a lot of pressure on this because it's got to glue down and it's going to hold for a while. I did not have any CA activator. Okay, there's a face only a mother could love. And make sure when your pressure is down, you do a little dance. Makes the soul happy. After that, I countersink some holes, threw my bit across the room, then used the 3/4 inch provided screws to secure the tracks. And then we were ready for a test fit. Very nice. I got something right. Oh yeah. See? Face only a mother could love. Now earlier I cut down some scrap 2x4s to 1.5 inches, then glued them together, making them bigger, and these will be our front and back supports. That's what you see me here doing now, is taking those apart. This gives you an idea of what it looked like, but I wasn't crazy about the square edges, so I took it over to the bandsaw where I added some curves. I'm not great on the bandsaw, but I did the best I could do with Porter Wagner. And then I took a 3/8 inch roundover bit and I added a tiny bit of class, a tiny bit of pizzazz, a tiny bit of sexiness. I mean, it looks so much better just rounded over just like that. Now you have this, which looks the same but with, curves and roundovers, and it looks good. Then I was ready to secure the supports to the piece of plywood, which wasn't hard. I just, set this down flat like that, then bing, bang, boom, screw, 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 and it was ready. Can you name that song? I'll give you a hint. It's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous by Good Charlotte. Now it's time to turn the sled into a crosscut sled. So put the tracks inside the slots on the table saw, bring the saw up to about 2 inches, and then make the beautiful crosscut line that you see me doing here. Now, little known fact, I can't spell the word beautiful without thinking of the Jim Carrey line.
Beautiful.
Technically, this is a crosscut sled. That I could stop there. That's all you need. You don't even really need this much. You don't have to have these fancy tracks. It makes it a lot easier, but the kit came with them, so why not use them? I could stop here. I mean, we have a hole that is, or we have a line that is perfectly 90 degrees, but this kit came with T-track that I can inlay and make a stop that will, be a stop.
You don't say.
So I'm gonna add that, and then we'll call it done from there. Is this thing working? Tastes funny. I am so sorry. You just had to go through that. Anyway, to add the saw stop track, I started by cutting down my 1x, what was this? 1x, whatever it was. I'm going to cut it down from this measurement here to about that measurement. Should be good. That's why I gave a thumbs up. Once it's cut, see, it looks better and it doesn't take up as much space. Right? Cool. Then I was ready to take out material to make room for the tracks. I did this by making mini cuts on the table saw until it was the right size. I'm talking about a lot of cuts. This blade is only an 1/8 inch, so it was seriously like 100 cuts, felt like. I could have used a dado stack, but I forgot that I had one. Then I took a chisel and delicately removed, that's a hard word to say. I carefully removed the leftover material, and then the track slid right in. I used the provided screws to screw the base to the platform, and then I was ready to add the final cut. Isn't that sexy? Then I used again the provided screws to secure the track into the base. I left a small gap, as you can see there, on each side just to leave a safety for the track, or for the blade, so I'm not hitting the blade on the aluminum. And I'm probably going to go back and make the gap wider in case I want to put an angle like a 45 or something in there. Then I used a couple of pieces of scrap wood to make the stop block, guys. It's not a stall block. I found the center point of the block and I drilled a 7/32 inch hole into it to allow for the hardware to go in. See, watch, and now we have a hole in 3. Oh, there it was. Then the hardware slid right in, and I was able to go into the track. And just like a greased up pig, it slid right into the slaughterhouse track. See? Sliding right. It was dark and weird. I don't know why I said that. I wrote it down. I was like, maybe that's funny. And now I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Let's do some sexy B-roll of this new crosscut sled. And there it is. A beautiful little crosscut sled. Let's set it back here so you can see it. Probably end up being where it's stored most of the time anyway, until I find somewhere to store it. But that's it. That's the crosscut sled. Very simple. It took me like 2 hours to make, only because, you know, I was filming. I would imagine someone could do this in like an hour if they wanted to. If you're interested in one, there is an affiliate link down below. That means it just kicks back a little bit of money to me to help, you know, fund the channel. If you want one, just check that out. And I think I already said that. Pretty sure I think it turned out pretty cool, especially like, you know, the saw stop. I don't know how much it'll be used, but I think it's gonna, I've wanted one for a while. I think it's gonna come in handy. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, comment, you know, if you made it this far, say, hey, I made it this far. If you start a comment with, hey, I made it this far, I'll be sure to answer it. I see other people do that. I figured I might as well try. And don't forget about the memberships. If you want to help support the channel, you can always join the memberships or send me a sticker and we'll put it on the sponsor wall. It doesn't really help support the channel, but you know, it gets stickers on the sponsor wall over there. That's it. Have a great one. I will see you next week. That's all I want your comment to say. Hey, I made it this far. If you start a comment, drop my microphone. I think it turned out pretty good. Sorry guys, I gotta take this. Hello? Just 1 second, I'll be right back. Yeah, why? No, I told you, you can't put that much down on that horse. No, that horse has 3 legs. I don't care if it's cute, you can't put that much on a horse. It's too much money to put on a horse. It works all the way over here. Next step in the process is to take a handsaw and we're going to cut stuff in half with it. Hand me that handsaw, please. This is what happens when you have a 3-year-old as your camera assistant. Told you this is not a handsaw. No, we're not betting on that horse.